A very good morning. Look, it's sunny. It's cold, but it's sunny. Right. So yesterday, I uploaded a very short video, 54 seconds it was, and YouTube pulled it because there are certain things that we're not allowed to talk about. So I'm going to sanitize what I said yesterday, and you join the dots. Right. So I was on my way, as I am now, from the gym last Wednesday when I received a missed call from my brother. And eventually, when we spoke to each other, he told me that my mother had died. Now, you have to understand that my mother was as strong as an ox. And, right, so, but cutting to the chase, she put all her trust in the medical profession. And if you've watched my videos, you will understand, or if you've seen anything that I've done in the media, you will know that I'm the total opposite. I do not put my confidence in experts. I put my confidence in God. Anyway, she participated in that thing that they've been pushing for the past 2 years. Actually, not for the past 2 years, but recently. You know, the word that rhymes with rooster begins with a boo. Yeah. Well, you know what I mean, right? So, anyway, she participated in that because doctor said, whatever, you know, I used to try and talk to her about that and give her alternatives. But I guess we cannot force other people's wills. All it is, my sister, who is unable to walk or talk, but has all her faculties, was quite clear that she did not want to be, I was going to say guinea pig, that's not the correct word. She didn't want to be a part of it. And mother would try to persuade her. But I'm very assertive. I'm hyper assertive, really, and I would say she said she doesn't want it, and you know that's how I would ensure. Well, that's what I did anyway, to ensure that she didn't end up in that situation. So anyway, she would have been 80 this July coming, and every morning, every night, at some point, I exclaim, why did you do that? It's sort of like, you know, the whole thing, it's supposed to save your life, not take your life. Well, that's the philosophy, right? That's the thinking for people who are not able to think clearly because they bought into whatever has been pushed to them. In other words, they trust the experts. Right, I don't try. Honestly, I've not had anybody sort of even approach me on the subject, and to do so it wouldn't be pretty. Not because I'm going to get physical or anything, but because I have my mouth and I know how to use it. So, cutting a very long story short now. So I'll leave that there. I won't go into it any further, but I hope you get the drift. I can't say specifically. But like I said, YouTube took down my little tiny video that I'd made. I'm going to give you an example that I know what I'm talking about when it comes to health and fitness. I made a couple of videos the other day, and I mentioned a 75-year-old man at the gym whose day I make, apparently. If he doesn't see me, if he gets there later than I do, or if he gets there when I've left, he'll come back the next day, calls me Elsie. Elsie, you weren't here yesterday. And, so what I try to stick around so I can at least say good morning to him. So yesterday, the ladies of the aqua aerobics class, who I've already mentioned to you, they all tried to form the posse by the shower to I don't know what they were trying to do, but it didn't end well. It's where I finished them off by saying the class isn't working for them because I don't participate in it, and yet I look better than all of you. And again, that's a home truth. It's a home run and a home truth because it's true, and sometimes it's a truth that offends people. So, whereas we cannot prove things of the mind and of the spirit because we cannot see them, we cannot see thoughts and we cannot see feelings, we can see things that materialize physically. So the fact that I've had all of this time to spend in the pool, been going every day now for I don't know how long, it's that thought occurred to me earlier when I was in the sauna. I'll come back to the older gentleman shortly. A thought occurred to me that 20 years ago, when my book was published 20 years ago, but I actually I'm going to keep it, I'll come back to that at some point, but I was inspired to write it in 1999, so that's like 22 years ago. Is it? No, 23 years ago now, I think. Yeah, 23 years ago, but it's published in 2002, and I realized it's the same process. My work dried up, and I never had ambitions to write a book. I've spoken about this before, but my work dried up, and something happened, which led me to say, you know, I'm not going to talk about it. I'm going to write a book, and I ended up writing a book. And it was, like I said, the same thing. My work dried up. So here I am in a situation, and it's a quiet time of year for what I do. But it's been, but it's never been this quiet. So I'm going to. People say, "Oh, it's just coincidence. It's just chance. It's whatever." But I will tell you categorically that God has freed me up in the same way that I was freed up to write the book. Had I been busy with work, I would not have had the inclination to write a book. I wouldn't have had the time even to sit down and say I'm writing a book. So, as the case is, I've had all this time where I'm able to go to the gym every morning and make use of the swimming pool. And all right, so I'll just sort of just give you a little bit of what's lined up. All right, so had I not taken the time to proactively work on getting back into shape, not that I was severely out of shape, but you know, we can always do better. Had I not taken the opportunity, when my photographer contacted me on Friday, and we ended up talking about a project that we could do, which would require that we do a photo shoot. Had I not been in a position to exercise, I would have to say to him, "Hang on, can you give me 2 or 3 months to get my body back right? To so I'll be confident wearing a bikini or tight-fitting clothes." Because what I do is it's sort of well, it's out there. The tagline given to me by the Daily Mail: "The woman who looks decades younger by going clubbing and dating younger men," which may or may not be true. All right, so anyway, so I've been given this time where I can get back in shape, and I'm able now to feel comfortable doing a photo shoot, like I'm good to go kind of thing. But that's only because I've been, preparation is everything. Right, so I'm going to quickly speak about the gentleman. So yesterday, when I went into the sauna, he said to me that for a while now, every night his back really burns, it itches, and he asked if there was anything that I could recommend. So I don't tend to recommend anything unless I know it works. But in this case, I've never had the sensation of burning skin. So I kind of like quiet for a few moments, and then I was inspired, because that's where I get all my exercises and everything that I do in the pool. They're all inspired. They're all a figment, if you like, of my own imagination, right? So, because people don't believe in God, so God is a figment of the imagination. So I guess all these exercises that I do, I'm so clever. They are a figment. So after a few seconds, I said to him, well, you could use bicarbonate of soda, but I didn't have my bicarbonate of soda with me. It was in my bag in the changing room. So I went in, got some, and rubbed it over his back for him. And he came back this morning, and he was all smiles, and he said, my back's better. I had no problems last night. So what I did was I applied some more for good measure. So I said, because just to make sure it doesn't come back, we'll just keep applying it until we know that whatever is, if it's an infection or something, we know that it's out of your system and you won't have any more problems. You see, so my methods work. So, I mean, over the years, I've passed on so many pieces of information, all inspired, that I know work. And people have either refused to do them, to take them on board, or never got round to it, or just sort of like thought that, I'll just stick with the doctor type thing. So anyway, that's that. But the other thing I was going to say, if I can remember, I can, thank you God. It's the way that people expect me to be handling my mother's death. I'll give you an example. When I think this was like the early 2000s, there were two branches of the church meeting in the same building, and God told me to move from the one to the other, and so I just went the next Sunday. And for you ask, well, we sort of have to go back in time, and I don't even know if they have memory. But every week for the longest time, I had people asking me, who upset you? Why did you leave? And it's like, nobody upset me. God told me to move from the one to the other. And it transpired that, I asked God, because it was a hostile environment in the end. They wanted me out. It's a long story. I'll tell that one day. But I hope it's not too windy. The wind's really blowing up here. I hope you can hear me. Right, so whereas they greeted me, by the time they got to see what I was about, they wanted rid of me. Hold on, the wind's blowing. Let me see what I can do. Alright, this is better. But they all thought, in both branches, somebody had upset me. Why did you move? And they would not hear that nobody had upset me. So, like the way that I'm handling my mother's death, there are people who are getting on my nerves, frankly, because they will not hear that I'm fine. I'm like this, I process things. And I've said before, I do healthy mind, healthy body, healthy spirit, personal development. And I've been doing that for more than 30 years. Right, so my sister died in 90, gosh, when did she die? 1992. So that's 30 years ago this year. And I've said to people, if I respond in the same way to my mother's death as I responded to my sister's death 30 years ago, then I haven't grown as a human being. Right, so I had the reserves to process and carry on. So the next day I got up as normal and went to the gym. When the carer came, she was surprised that I was going. And but I said, no, life goes on. You continue in the way that you were going. Because if every time something happens in our life, we stop and we wallow, then I mean, I've seen this with people, and you're going to come up with excuses. I've kept going. And as well, because I'm looking after my sister, I have to keep my energy up in order to keep her energy up. And this is something people don't understand. So I said to a couple of people that, I pointed out very matter-of-factly that it seems people care more about the dead than they do about the living. Because in all this time that I've been with my sister, whereas people might give her my love, tell her I'm thinking of her, and I'm praying for her and this kind of thing, nobody's actually done anything to help her. I've said it was my landlord's sister who went round to my flat and sorted it out for me, and she's taken my clothes and my shoes to her place for safekeeping so they don't mildew. Right, she did that. She took 2 days out of her life to do that. And her brother, my landlord, is hanging on to my musical instruments because he's a musician. So he says he's going to, this is what she told me, he's going to try and learn to play my saxophone. Which, good luck. I'm not using it for now, so why not? But, so that's the point. So all these people suddenly wanting to give condolences, are you all right? And nobody gave a damn about my sister, who's still not all right. So it was that kind of thing. So it's not like I'm trying to persuade anyone that. The other thing was because I didn't necessarily get on with my mother, but they think, oh, you hate her, you need to forgive her, and all this garbage. I don't hate anybody. What I do is if people don't mean me well, or if they're a liability, I will separate from them. But if they need help, I will help them, even if from a distance. And but I mean, people don't understand. Like I said, they can't see feelings or thoughts, but so they use their imagination. But I don't hate anybody that I'm separated from. It's not because I hate them. It's because I want peace in my life. And if I sort of like continue to mix with them or allow them access to me, to my life, then I'm not going to have that peace. It's simply that. But like I said, because we're not all on the same level, I'm not going to say I'm on a higher level or anything. I'll just say we're not on the same level. And how people choose to process death and sickness, that's it's like when my sister was in hospital in September 2020 and she was diagnosed. I didn't react. I just said okay, because what you do with information is you process it. I mean, some people may fall apart or whatever and think, oh my gosh, this is terrible, but I will say in the same way, I was saying to one of the ladies in the changing room, because they see me doing my exercises and they're curious. She asked me who taught me to do those exercises that I do, and I said I did. I didn't sort of go into details, but they're coming to know now that I'm 56 this month. People ask how old I am, and so on, based on my physique. And I say, well, I've, some people would think that it's just something you're coming to now because you're trying to hang on to your youth or something. And I'm paying attention. Yes, this idiot, the light hadn't quite changed. And because I'm very aware of what's going on, so he tried to make a point by driving, and the light hadn't changed yet. It was still red. It was just turning, and it's just this little. It's like 3 steps, right? 3 steps, and then another 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 steps. But this idiot, he was trying to make a point. Even though I'm talking, I am paying attention. I can multitask. So that was him anyway. I hope he has a day befitting his mentality. Right, so like my thing from I was a child, and I talk about this in the book, from I like 3 years old, maybe even younger. I was saying, my father, when he's putting me to bed, every night it would be weeping and wailing and gnashing of teeth. And I'm saying, I don't want to die, I don't want to die. And he would, in the book, he would encourage me to sing this song, I shall not die, but I shall live forever. I shall live forever with the Lord. And so on. So that's like from I was little, there was that I don't want to die thing. And then as I got a bit older, and I'm in my 20s, I thought, you know what, I like all these things that I do. I like playing sports, I like dancing, I like all of these things. I want to be able to do them for as long as I have life. So then I took that to God and I said, hang on a minute, what is the point of aging? What is the benefit of it? You know, so it's sort of like I put him in a position to justify himself. So if you can tell me what's good about aging, because for me aging is deteriorating. You get weak, you get frail, you lose your ability to do various things that you might love and want to do. And I mean, I have very simple likes and needs, very simple. And I thought, well, why can't I just be physically fit, healthy forever, for as long as I have life? So I took that one to God. And going 30 years later, I still haven't had the justification for aging. So I think I could only speak for myself in saying, expressing my thoughts. I think sometimes God has given things to us, and we think that we're being faithful believers or faithful members of the human race by yielding. I've lost count, but I will say at least once a day, I've had it today, at least once a day when I go to the gym, somebody's gonna say to me, when I say, like, for example, I'm working on my legs at the moment, which is why I'm walking, they're gonna say, as I said, I'm fat burning on my legs. What fat? But you see, they're looking at me in comparison to themselves. And one thing I do not do, I do not look at other people and look at their results and compare myself to them, how well I'm doing, how well I'm not doing. I never do that. But you see, so when, it doesn't matter whether you're an expert or not, if you're going to tell me advice which is different to the inspiration that I've received from God, then chances are I will laugh in your face and I will reject your expertise. So anyway, have the long history, and mother is no more. Obviously I believe in God, and I believe that this isn't, death isn't the end of life, it's just the beginning of life elsewhere. So I hope she is happy that she's been reunited with her 3 brothers, her daughter, her parents and grandparents and all who went before her. And I hope she's sort of like, I don't know, she can look back and think, man, I shouldn't have done that, I should have listened to Liz. Not that it's important that anybody listens to me, but you know what I mean. If sometimes people give us good advice and we reject it, and then things happen. That's it really. I don't have much more to say. I hope YouTube, you won't take this video down, because it's meant with, I'm not giving anybody medical advice or anything. I'm sharing inspiration, which is completely different to medical advice. I live by inspiration. It works for me. I'm fit and healthy. Like I said, my mother died it's not affected me in such a way that I need to drop anything. And I'm still able to carry on looking after my sister, as I have been doing for going on to now almost 2 years. Next month will be 2 years. So there you go. But I got to go, so I have to pop into supermarket to sort out food for dinner and so on. But that's it really. Inspiration. I think I'll title this video Inspiration Saves Lives. All right, you guys look after yourselves and be well, I guess. Take care. Bye bye.